Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly podcast, Knowledge Empowers. As always, with you is me, Kat. Annyeonghaseyo. And then we have Baruch.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we have Collage with the background sound.
Hello, hello, hello. Dobré ráno, dobré ráno, dobré ráno. Čaute všetci. And my background noise is currently muted, so ha ha ha.
Ah! Okay, let's see how your background noise is muted with your 3 fun facts.
Let's do this. So first fun fact is about folding paper, you know, the special
Origami?
style. Yeah, origami, exactly. Do you know where it comes from?
Japan?
No?
China?
No? Germany.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
What?
it was actually invented or coined in Germany in kindergarten in 1860s. So and then it was actually like transferred to Japanese culture, actually like acknowledged that it could belong to them, but actually it wasn't developed, you know.
Okay, fun fact number 2.
The second fun fact is about our hair and the total length. Can you guess what is the total length of our hair for the whole lifetime? So how long it is, the length
Nope,
we
I never
produce?
even searched this.
I would say like 50 meters.
50 meters for the whole lifetime.
Live? I think
I
it's
think
longer.
I said, yeah, it should be more. 100 meters.
Okay, go more.
Even more, okay. Half a kilometer? 500 meters?
Yeah, go more.
Okay.
So
All right.
our hair produces the length of about 600 miles.
Woohoo.
600 miles.
Yep.
That's
So
lots of brushes.
yeah, that's a lot of hair, you know.
Is it just, hair from head, or is it all the hair combined, our body hair included?
That's gonna be the whole hair
Oh, okay.
combined.
Okay, fun fact number 3.
And the third one is about Venus. So I think that we shouldn't move there because one day takes 243 days here. So one rotation around the axis takes 240 days. So, working day would be really, really, really long. So if you have some sort of, good corporate or startup, which you want to like really boost, so one working day on Venus would be the solution for you.
You will just have no customers.
You would need the deadline.
Maybe. Depends. When will you deliver? In 2 days. Okay, that.
4 years
Cool.
later.
Imagine
Wow.
working shifts like in the night.
So see you in 2 years. Wow.
240 days. Yeah.
Okay, no Venus first.
Yeah. At least not in this way. I think that we would have to really like reestablish ourselves. We are not talking about the really the atmosphere, which is not breathable and not useful and not supporting life.
Details, all the other
That's
details.
yeah,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
other details, but rotations are fun.
Oh my gosh.
So those are the 3 facts for today.
Interesting. I'm wiser again. Thankfully, nothing to do with any 6 centimeter sperms. Thank you so much. That one is just probably, I will remember it till
Still
my
in your
lifetime.
mind. Still in your mind. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I will prepare something to beat it out of it. So
Oh, okay. Now I wonder what that will be. So guys, first of all, sorry for my sound of voice. There is some sort of flu or cold running around. I would just say like, hey, finally some flu or cold and it's not COVID. Anywho, we started with the burnout and today we're going the other set of 6 phases of the burnout. So let's start with number 7, which is called withdrawal. Again, I'm going to say it's from the Freudenberger, who defined those phases. And so the phase withdrawal, people in this phase withdraw from themselves, their emotions, and people around them. They feel hopelessness and they have a loss of direction.
loss of direction.
loss of direction. You
like
may
you can navigate yourself.
no, not like that. It's more of like people in this stage can already also show like some physical symptoms. For example, they stay lay in bed and they don't they don't see their future to move forward. That's what is meant by loss of direction, that you just don't see the goals. Like, what's the point of even getting up? That's
see.
what's meant by it. It's kind of sad though.
Like the usual Monday before which is Tuesday, you know, like you don't
Loss
see
of
any
direction.
Yeah, loss of direction, you know, like why am I even going to the work? You know, like, oh, do I need to wait? Oh, gee.
Monday.
What do I want to
Monday.
achieve today? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Survive Mondays.
By the way, watch and listen our podcast about vacations and why they are needed, because that's when you have that feeling, you definitely need the vacation.
So withdrawal. So you withdraw from the society, like just that, and she's staying at home. No.
But also from yourself, basically.
And from yourself as well.
Okay.
Let's go number 8. Obvious behavioral changes. More isolation. People around see obvious behavioral changes such as apathy, shyness, fearfulness. If someone tries to get closer, they might see it as an attack, but it's possible to come closer very gently.
Why would they see it as an attack?
Because you have no sense of rational judgment. And it's like everyone, even if you try to help the person, you just see it as an attack. Because imagine it's like you are already depleted with all of your hormones. They are absolutely misbalanced. So you are not able to realistically evaluate the situation.
I just wonder, like, why does it need to be necessarily like attack? Isn't it just like, oh, hey, why do you bother me?
I think it's connected to the previous phases, because in previous phases we were talking about that you don't see a problem, you know, some denials there. So if you're in the denial phase that everything is okay, and some people start bother you with, are you sure you're okay? Do you need blah blah blah? So I can see that through this energy misbalance between you and the other people, or it is like a disconnection, because you're disconnected from emotions, from the empathy. You can't really connect to those people. So I can imagine that you will be angered by, you know, like, why are you taking care of me? I don't need that, blah blah blah. Stop it, you know. So I'm in denial, I'm in withdrawal. Just leave me alone. I'm gonna just lie here down and have a restful night, and not waking up, or not getting up. So I can imagine that this could be already like a full symptom here.
Number 9, depersonalization. Loss of contact with oneself, with one's emotions, one's own priorities and personal future. Loss of contact with the world. Close people seems to not exist. The person seems to not exist, and life is a series of mechanical functions.
It sounds so much like depression. So much.
We will get to depression as well, but this is really like you're losing yourself as a person.
Yeah, similar.
Depression and burnout are connected. So it can sound like depression because it is somehow connected when it comes to the emotional state, you know, or the symptoms there. And yeah, the personalization is really, really tough, you know, like when you are totally out of yourself, you know, like you perceive yourself as a third person. That's already a stage, you know, like I don't think that that's the stage where you will be still thinking, okay, or
yeah, you're not thinking anymore.
Yeah,
you're not thinking
like
anymore.
Not feeling, basically.
Not
so
feeling. It's just mechanical things that you've automated throughout your lives, but
yeah, I need to eat because I need to eat.
Yeah, it's surviving, not living.
Yeah. Yep.
Number 10 is inner emptiness. Feelings of inner emptiness, worthlessness, and exhaustion. Smoking, drinking alcohol, sex, and drugs might be misused to not feel the emptiness. A person may become phobic and may not be able to stay alone, not even for a little while.
It's interesting. It's like the opposite of what we had in the stage before that, before the previous one.
It's like you literally start misusing things just so you could feel something.
Mm-hmm.
It's
But also
like,
with the people, like you suddenly you don't want to be without people.
because you already have
Yeah.
phobias are really connected that you are in such a fear that you cannot be alone. It's just like only then you still feel the fear, but not in such an extent as if you would be alone.
Yeah, and I think that by being alone doesn't mean that you want the other person to take care of you.
Correct.
It's
It's just
that,
to be there with you somewhere, very close. Not necessarily talking to, but just that the fear is lowered. Number 11 comes depression. Person doesn't care anymore. Exhaustion and hopelessness are the main feelings. Might just want to sleep all the time. And there is already possibility of suicidal thoughts. I also need to highlight that this depression that comes with the burnout, once the doctors get you out of the burnout, and the depression will disappear as well. This is not the clinical depression that is as a depression itself. This is very much connected to burnout. So this is like really dangerous stage already. And well, all of them are dangerous, but here you would already start thinking of quitting your life.
So, I mean, normally, where would you see the best chance for people who are going through these phases to, get help, professional help?
I would say any.
Yeah, I wanted to say any, but we can't say really any, because sometimes if you just feel sad because of, for example, someone has died in your family or something, you just feel the sadness for a certain period of time, but time helps you heal, right? But if the sadness is longer than it's healthy, and here is the tricky part, how long is the length, right? You should already start thinking of, okay, this is not healthy because this is going way too long.
Maybe it's
too long.
influencing your daily life. You cannot function well.
Well, because of that, I would say that at any point, for me, it depends on the level of professional help you want. When you feel sad, I wouldn't go for psychiatrist, like for medicaments or something like that. Not just I would just wait there. But going with like you've had this loss in the family or something else, you're going through some other stages. For example, you are aiming for the high performance, and you are developing workaholism or something like that. Sure, go seek out help. There might be a psychologist or psychotherapist for you to help you, like you can solve your own bullshit which is there, or just talk it out. They are the ultimate friends who will be there listening to you. Yeah, you need to pay them, so pros and cons for this friendship. But again, talking about it with some sort of professional can help, so any for me, therefore, any stage goes. If you are in those last, like we are talking about the last, like since 6, I think those stages are really hard. That's, I think, when the usual just talking to your friends is not going to help, and you need to really search like for professional help. And I don't think that psychologists will help at this point. You should probably go for a psychotherapist or psychiatrist at those points.
Some of the companies have been part of a benefit, something called employee assistance program, where they have like assign numerous therapists, and it's actually for free. So even check your benefits that you have within your own company, if you have possibilities like this, and you use them. That's why they are there.
Again, use them for anything, basically. Even if you have a bad day and if you have this, support, why not to use them? Like your company is paying them, so go for it.
And then number 12 is the burnout syndrome. It's literally that all sources are totally depleted and you have total mental and physical collapse. Getting this stage is when you honestly end up at hospital. And then usually just to stabilize you might take up to 6 weeks, but that's just to stabilize you. But to really get out of the burnout, again, depends on your personality and everything, but can take between 6 months to 2 to 3 years. Get out of it.
Where does that physical exhaustion come from? Or the collapse? How does that happen? I mean, we said that person is basically taking care of themselves, like by doing this automatic daily chores.
I only know my former boss, who was a very strong guy, tall guy, mentally also very strong, and he always took care of us. And then when our department has been changed, etc., we all left to different careers, different companies, etc. But once in a while, once in a few years, we as a former team, we meet. And we went for dinner, and that's when he shared with us that he went through burnout. And we just couldn't believe, because we always saw him as a caring person who took care of us as well as he always took care of him. And so he shared with us he was working on a project for 2 years. And there were lots of obstacles and challenges, etc. But really for 2 years, working. And then after 2 years, they really closed the project, delivered everything. They did the celebration. And the next morning, his wife found him lying on the floor in the kitchen, crying, and he was not able to move.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to call an ambulance, and then he was taken to the hospital. And then it took 6 weeks to stabilize him, and then he had to start the therapy sessions and everything. Mm-hmm. What he shared was like, he never even saw it coming, but it was like, if you review it back, it's really that for 2 years you're just using your adrenaline. So exactly like I've said, sources are totally depleted, that you deplete all of your hormones, because you, in those 2 years, he never recharged them. You never, when I was mentioning this is the stress and we need the stress for work, but you need to learn to let it go. But if you keep holding on to it, eventually you will deplete it, and then you have nothing to go on. And so that's what then physically gets you down or switches you off, basically, right? And the worst part is that it scares you mentally, and physically you get fit pretty quickly in 6 weeks, but then the mental part is that what takes so long.
To complement this answer, the things that when you are doing things mechanically doesn't mean that you're taking care of yourself. If you're doing things mechanically, it's that if somebody serves you food, you will eat it because you're supposed to eat it, but you don't do it but you don't have your own personal motivation to do it. So if you're laying the whole time in a bed, you are not going to make yourself a breakfast. That's the higher stage. Like I've had a friend who suffered this. So if you are in those stages where you don't have a motivation, you don't have motivation to eat, to exercise, to do anything, basically. So that's why, one of the recommendations is to, for example, have a dog, which helps you to get out of the bed, to move around, because you don't have motivation to do that. So although you know how to do it, you do it mechanically, you go out with the dog or whatever, you don't do it because you have your own personal motivation that, I know that walking is good for my health. So that's the difference. Like, okay, you can do things mechanically, but you will deplete your resources, as Kat said, because you don't have the motivation to do it yourself. So that's why the mental and physical exhaustion comes in, because you are not replenishing, you're not helping yourself. If you have sleep, it's going to be hard. You're probably not going to sleep that much because all of this is, in your mind happening. So that's how the physical and mental problems kick in. So we went through those 12 stages, 6 before, 6 now. It sounds like the last 3 are much harder than the first 3. So that's like escalation, right? Across those phases.
Because that's already when you almost depleted everything. Hormones, physical, mental, you are tired or you cannot sleep. So you are like depleting all your sources of your body.
This is why I ask, like, when is the best chance to contact that professional help? Because, at the very end, something is wrong, but you already don't have energy. But at the very beginning, you might think, oh, this is not that serious, and I don't even know what it might be, really.
I want to turn it to like a laugh, but maybe we could learn something from the Americans, and you can really see it in every series, every movie. They have lots of therapists, and they just go to therapy, even if they don't have like maybe some serious problem, but there might be some issues in your life and you just never had that experience. And if you have someone to talk to about it, already helps you out. And that's why we need to untaboo the psychologists or therapists or psychiatrists, because that's why they are there for you, that these people really, really can help you.
When it comes to go to somebody, I think that you have higher chance when you have the mild syndromes. That's the higher chance that somebody can introduce you there, or your friends can help you out, or that you may notice it and have through the self-awareness, when you're not in denial, so you can seek it out, or there is a higher chance that you will do it by yourself, because there is still motivation. When it comes to the last ones, I feel that there needs to be someone with you, who is going to guide you, or who is going to push you towards that, or I don't know how else to do that, because if you reach the last one, like Kat said with her friend, you just call the ambulance. Then it's already too late, because the person doesn't know. They can't do it by themselves, at that point. So there needs to be somebody who is really, really close to you, and who is even like honest and open to you, and tries to help you out, because that's already like you are at that point, you are too far from the line.
And so for the next episode, we will be talking about prevention. And we will share lots of tips and tricks. What everything you can do for yourself, for your mental health, physical health. So guys, stay tuned for the next episode. And with that, I'm gonna say 수고하셨습니다.
Bye bye.
Ciao, bye bye.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.